He had no army, no wealth, no royal blood, but his words toppled empires. Cicero, ancient Rome's greatest speaker. A man who rose from nothing to become the most powerful voice in the most powerful city on earth. Not through force, not through connections, just through the ability to speak so well that people had no choice but to listen. And what he understood about words, about persuasion, about speaking truth in a world full of lies, it's something you need to know right now. Because the people who control the conversation control everything. And most people have no idea how to speak well enough to be heard. So let's go back. About 2,000 years ago, ancient Rome, the center of power, where decisions are made that affect millions. And here's the thing about Rome. It's not a kingdom. It's not ruled by one person. It's a republic. Which means power goes to whoever can convince the Senate, whoever can persuade the people, whoever can speak well enough to change minds. And right in the middle of all this political chaos is Cicero, born into a normal family, no special advantages, no powerful friends, nothing handed to him, just a sharp mind and an incredible gift for words. He watches the powerful men in Rome, the generals, the wealthy families, the politicians born into privilege, and he realizes something. Most of them are terrible speakers. They mumble, they ramble, they can't make a clear argument to save their lives. They have power because of who their fathers were, not because they earned it. And Cicero sees an opportunity. If he can learn to speak better than everyone else, if he can master the art of persuasion, he can rise higher than all of them. Because, in a republic, the person who wins the argument wins everything. So he studies, not just what to say, but how to say it. Not just facts, but emotion. Not just logic, but timing. He learns that speaking well isn't about being smart. It's about being understood. About moving people, about making them feel something and think something at the same time. And he practices for years. Every speech is a performance. Every word is chosen carefully. Every pause is calculated. He learns how to read a room, how to sense what people are feeling, how to adjust his message based on who's listening. And it works. He starts winning cases as a lawyer. Then he wins political positions. Then he becomes consul, the highest position in Rome, all through the power of his words, through his ability to make people believe him, trust him, follow him. But here's where it gets interesting. Cicero isn't just a good speaker. He's speaking truth in a world that's falling apart. Rome is corrupt. The powerful are abusing their positions. Democracy is dying. And most people are too scared to say anything. But Cicero speaks. He calls out corruption. He exposes lies. He defends the innocent. And he does it so well, so powerfully, that even his enemies can't ignore him. They hate him for it. They threaten him. Eventually, they kill him for it. But they can't stop his words from spreading. He said, "Nothing is so unbelievable that speaking cannot make it acceptable." Think about that. It's not just about truth. It's about how you present truth. You can have the most important message in the world. But if you can't communicate it well, nobody will listen. And someone with a lie can win if they speak better than you. That's the power and the danger of speaking well. It can be used for good or evil, to spread truth or spread lies, to build or destroy. And Cicero knew this. He saw speakers use their skills to manipulate, to deceive, to gain power through empty words. So he taught that speaking well comes with responsibility. You have a duty to speak truth, to use your words to help, not harm, to persuade people toward what's right, not just what benefits you. He said, a good speaker needs 3 things. First, you need to prove your case with logic and facts. Second, you need to win their emotions, make them feel something. Third, you need to entertain them enough that they actually pay attention. Logic alone doesn't work. People don't make decisions based on facts. They make decisions based on how facts make them feel. So, you need both, the rational argument and the emotional connection, and you need to deliver it in a way that holds attention. Because even the most important message is useless if people tune out halfway through. Cicero mastered this balance. He could take complex legal arguments and make them simple. He could take dry political debates and make them dramatic. He could make people laugh, then make them angry, then make them inspired, all in one speech. And that's what made him dangerous to the powerful, because he could make common people understand what was being done to them. He could expose corruption in a way that everyone could see. He gave voice to people who had no voice. But here's what most people miss about Cicero. He wasn't just naturally gifted. He worked at this. He studied every great speaker before him. He practiced constantly. He wrote down his speeches and refined them. He taught others how to speak well. He said, speaking is like any other skill. You can learn it. You can improve it. You don't have to be born with it. You just have to care enough to get better. And he broke it down into a process. First, know your subject completely. You can't speak well about something you don't understand. Second, organize your thoughts clearly. Know what you want to say and in what order. Third, choose your words carefully. Say things simply but powerfully. Fourth, practice your delivery. How you say something matters as much as what you say. This wasn't just theory. This was practical skill that anyone could learn. And Cicero proved it by teaching others. By writing guides on speaking that people still read 2,000 years later. Now, let's bring this to your life. Because you need to speak well. Not to rule Rome, but to be heard. To make your case. To stand up for yourself. To communicate ideas that matter. And most people are terrible at this. They mumble. They ramble. They can't make their point. They let better speakers dominate conversations, even when those speakers are wrong. Think about work. Someone takes credit for your idea because they presented it better. Someone gets the promotion because they spoke more confidently in the meeting. Someone wins an argument not because they're right, but because they sound right. That's the power of speaking well. And if you don't have it, you lose. Even when you shouldn't. Even when you're right. Even when you deserve better. Cicero would say, learn to speak. Not to manipulate. Not to deceive. But to be heard. To make sure your truth gets through. To give your ideas the delivery they deserve. Here's what that looks like, practically. You're in a meeting, you have an idea. Instead of mumbling it quickly and hoping people get it, you do what Cicero taught. You organize your thought. You state it clearly. You give one strong reason. You make it concrete with an example. You deliver it with confidence. That's not complicated, but most people don't do it. They just throw words out and hope for the best. And then they wonder why nobody listens. Or you're in an argument. Someone's attacking you. Most people either shut down or attack back. But Cicero would say, stay calm. Listen to what they're really saying. Address their actual point, not your emotional reaction. Make your case clearly. Don't get defensive. Just speak truth calmly and confidently. That's power. Real power. Not yelling, not dominating. Just being clear and composed while everyone else is losing it. Here's another one. You need to have a difficult conversation. Maybe with your boss. Maybe with your partner. Maybe with a friend. And you're nervous, you don't know how to say it. So you either avoid it or say it badly and make things worse. Cicero would say, prepare. Know what you want to say, organize it, practice it. Not to memorize a script, but to get clear on your message. Then deliver it calmly, clearly, without apology and without attack. Just truth spoken well. This is what Cicero mastered. Speaking truth in a way that actually lands, that actually changes minds, that actually moves people. And here's the key. He wasn't trying to trick people. He wasn't using fancy manipulation tactics. He was just making truth accessible, making it clear, making it powerful, giving it the voice it deserved. Because truth without a voice is just silent truth, and silent truth changes nothing, but truth spoken well, that changes everything. Cicero proved this. A man with no army, no royal blood, no wealth, just words. And those words made him powerful enough that Rome's dictators had to kill him to shut him up. Think about that. They couldn't beat his arguments. They couldn't discredit him. They couldn't make people stop listening. So they had to kill him. That's how powerful speaking well can be. And here's what they couldn't kill. His words, his speeches, his lessons on speaking, they're still here. Still being read. Still teaching people how to use language to change the world. Because Cicero understood something eternal. Words create reality. The way you speak shapes how people think. And if you can speak well enough, you can shape the world. Most people never develop this skill. They go through life unable to articulate what they think, unable to defend what they believe, unable to make their case when it matters. And they lose, not because they're wrong, but because they can't communicate why they're right. Don't be one of them. Learn to speak. Learn to organize your thoughts. Learn to deliver them clearly. Learn to connect logic and emotion. Learn to hold attention. Learn to make truth powerful. This isn't manipulation. This is giving your message the voice it deserves. This is making sure you're heard. This is taking responsibility for being understood, instead of just assuming people will figure it out. Cicero died for speaking truth, but his words outlived Rome itself, because he spoke them so well that they couldn't be forgotten. That's the power of speaking well. And it's available to you if you're willing to learn it. Subscribe for more wisdom that gives you real power.